What are you doing? Well, good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. This is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat where you hang out with me and the girls in here. Let me see where they are. And follow me on my sewing journey. Yes. Hello. And I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. This is Dottie. She's our 11-week-old cowboy corgi. And today we have an appointment at the vet. She's a good girl. Yes. All right. Let me put you down. They are expecting treats. It only took her a moment to get the hang of that. You need to get out of the way, Missy. I'm going to move the camera. So, oh my goodness sakes, y'all. Let me get these dogs where y'all can see them. And just a love on these cuties. What are you guys doing? Sit. You're going to have to sit. Yeah, you're going to have to. Oh my goodness, y'all. Can you see this stinker? She's something else. Okay, you can have those. Yes, you guys get your treats. Good girls, good girls. Yeah, Dottie, you just get one. There you go, sweetie. And then there's one for you, Frito. All right, y'all. And then we're going to do, you guys can't see Frito, can you? She's hiding. Can you see Frito? No, not at all. They can't see you, Frito. You're here. Where are you, baby? I can't get the camera to go down any lower. Let me back her up. Oh, yeah, you can see her. She's on the rug. There she is. Awesome. Okay, and then you get a stick. Yes. And you too, Missy. There you go. All right. Better get it. Bye-bye. Go brush your teeth. Okay. We got that out of the way. Y'all, this morning, she sat by the front door and she whined. She sat right here by this door. Whined, and I'm like, oh, let's go outside. Yay! Progress. I will take it any time I can get it. So, yeah, awesome. You can see Frida. I couldn't see her. She was hiding on that. She just blended in with the gray carpet. I was trying to check that computer camera and on the screen, and I couldn't see it. So, thank you, Midge. Yeah, they're precious cute. All right, so today is Embroidery Thursday. And I thought we would go ahead and finish up the other project in the Hoop Studio. But before we get there and do that, I want to show you guys. So last week, I started memberships on the channel, and they're just 99 cents a month. And it's a recurring charge on your credit card. Just want to let you know that. And in that, you're going to get one video a month of member-only content, and it is not on another channel. You don't have to go to any other website. You'll just go to my videos because, you know, if you go to YouTube, sometimes you can choose videos or shorts or live or whatever, and they'll always be under the videos tab. And those of you that are members will get to see the members-only content. So for this month, what I'm going to be putting out, it's only been, memberships have only been out for a week, and I didn't mean to do it. I meant to put the video out and then start memberships, but that's not how that worked out. Once I was poking around to see how membership worked, I was committed according to Google, and I couldn't go back, and then a bunch of people joined, and there you go. So it's fine. I love that. But this month, the video I'm going to give you is it's an advanced lesson. It's using embrilliance. Okay. It's all in embrilliance. It's not just snapplique, but it's also using embrilliance. And I want to show you the project that I made. So I made this adorable, I think it's adorable, wall hanging. This is a Wonky Houses. It's a combination of Wonky Houses designs from Fabric Confetti. And what's really neat about this is that in the Wonky Houses, I created this, and I want to show you and kind of explain how. Okay. So the wall hanging has the body of the wall hanging. It has 2 tabs. Okay. And it has an envelope back. All right. Plus it has little curved corners. But what's really unique about this wall hanging is that it's autumn, okay, and the house come from 2 different designs. So This is the CD that they came from. And this is not necessarily, this video is not necessarily about teaching you how to make this. Most of you know how to embroider already, okay? So this is about using Embrilliance, various modules of it. I used Essentials and Enthusiast and Stitch Artist 1. You can do this in Stitch Artist 1, pretty sure. So this particular CD, the designs on this CD are not designed to be wall hangings at all. There are no files in here to create a wall hanging. I used Embrilliance to do that. So you can tell on this design right here, it says it's autumn in our neighborhood with the acorn and the leaf and the little leaf up here. I didn't want that in our neighborhood, so I got rid of that part. And then the house that I used is this one right here. Now, I didn't do any major editing to the house. I left the house as is. But the major editing to the design was done in this one. And then this half and this were merged into one. And then I used Embrilliance Stitch Artist to create the wall hanging shape, which is the outline for the frame, you know, placement line, tack down, how to curve the corners, how to create that last tack down, how to create the lines for your tabs and all of that, how to get it all lined up and working. And it turned out just beautiful. So I got an email from a lady today, I think she sent it last night. She was asking about which modules of Embrilliance to get. And so depending on your skill level, all right, the basic module that everybody should get to start with is Essentials. That's why it's called Essentials. That module provides the essentials that you need to be able to merge designs, okay, and copy, paste, all of that kind of stuff. For those of you that are doing the snapplique, where you're creating embroidery designs from paper patterns that were never designed to be machine embroidery designs, then and while I'm at it, a little side note there, I've had digitizers write to me and ask me if they can use my snapplique process and sell those designs on their site, and I have refused those requests, okay? Because I don't know that those digitizers are not taking copyrighted or trademark designs and then selling them under the snapplique thing, which you're not allowed to do without permission from the digitizer, from the designer, the pattern designer. So just FYI on that. If you guys see anybody out there that is selling snapplique designs, those are not allowed unless they have permission from the paper designer, because that was the thing I was afraid of when I came up with this process. I digress. Okay. So you need essentials. Now, if you're doing snapplique, why do you need essentials? Because there's a button that's only found in essentials. It looks like a pair of scissors that's cutting through a line that lets you see the stitches that have been removed under a piece of applique. Okay. So just you need it really for that one button, just to give you peace of mind. Now, Enthusiast, I used Enthusiast to split this design right here. All right, I did that, and then I used Stitch Artist to create the outer borders and the lines to stitch in the tabs and the envelope back. So just FYI, that is what is coming out in this month's members only video. So if you are interested in joining by the subscribe button, there should be a join button. If you are on an Apple device, you may need to go in through your browser. You need to go in through like Edge or Chrome, perhaps Safari, I'm not sure, but you need to go on the browser version of YouTube, not the app. They don't make it easy. I don't know why. And then the coupon, the 10% off coupon for Embrilliance is still good until the 14th. So we got 3 more days of that. All right, so let's get to today's Hoop Studio. I didn't want to be here forever and a day, so today I went ahead and prepared all of the pieces that we need. Will it always be on the same day or will you be notified? Bernadette, she's talking about members only video. My plan is to have a video ready for you guys. Like, no, not always on the same day. Okay. So my plan is to have a video for you guys, usually the first week of the month. And, but this week, again, last week, I just started the memberships accidentally. And then, so I'm trying to get this video out this week, and I hope to have the next one out by the first week of October. Okay. So, y'all, we have a virtual kitchen, just like every stitching retreat does. And I hope you wander over there and say hello. Scotty Dog is running our kitchen. And you're in the right place. There's no other website to go to if you are new. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy it here. We have a fabulous group. And then we also, oh, what was I going to say? That thought just went, phew, okay, because I've got so much going on in my brain right now. And coffee cake, good. There's coffee cake in the kitchen. Awesome. Calorie and fat free. You got to love that, right? Let me get my coffee while I am here. Bacon. Oh, I can smell it. Love it. Love it. Y'all, we started buying that pre-cooked bacon from Costco. That's the way to go, especially in the motorhome, for sure. All righty. So let's get go. Could we use any house in that spot? Like the one from Designs by Juju Christmas tree skirt. Mabel. That is the beauty of Embrilliance, and the answer is yes. The whole point of the videos that you're going to see in my membership. So a lady wrote and asked me and said, I can't find that kit that you're going to make. Will the videos still be for Prairie Days from Bunny Hill Designs? Or she said, I don't have that. Do I have to go buy that to follow along? No, you do not. The whole point of these videos is for you to look at them and go, just like Mabel did, hey, I wonder if I could. The point is to get those synapses clicking and firing for you to say, wow, that just opened up a new thing for me. Because the entire point of Embroidery Essentials is to be able to merge designs, right? So you can, this is actually 4 designs if you get down to it. The first design is, believe it or not, Designs by Juju quilting backdrops, okay? Hoop fillers, that's what I used on this. Designs by Juju's hoop filler. And then this is a design. These are designed to be table runners. There's no files on this CD at all. No files at all for a wall hanging. You will not find them. Do not email Vanessa and say, how come I can't find the wall hanging? The wall hanging was created by me, okay? That's the point of the members only video, to open things up for you and go, oh, wow, I didn't know I could do that. And then what's going to happen is you're going to lose sleep because you're going to lay awake at night going, I wonder if I could, oh, that would be so cute. For instance, Bonnie told me yesterday, Miss Bonnie, our rally manager. So you're welcome, Connie. She says, I love that you show us how to do these projects. So this wall hanging here is the 8x12. Okay. So what Bonnie told me was she created her little name tag that in our Facebook group for our El Campo folks coming up next week. Just some links for them to make their own name tags. Well, Bonnie made a name tag herself. She created it herself in Stitch Artist, and she went and grabbed a cute little sewing design from a 2016 Anita Good design, either a CD or USB, but she said it was Anita Good design. So she made her name and she put the little sewing thing on there. And that's awesome to be able to do that. She said, I'm just loving this Stitch Artist, because she had to create the little thing for her name, right? Very cute. Very cute. So anyway, let's see. That's exactly right, Betsy. Designs by Juju has cute birth announcements that are wall hangings, and you could do, that's right. Matter of fact, I think Yeah, so if you don't have Stitch Artist, you could certainly start with Designs by Juju's wall hanging shape, right? And then make your own. That is the whole point, is to take what you've got or see something online and go, hey, you know, you don't have to look at things and go, that's all I can do with that, because the world is your oyster. Okay. All right. So let's get to today's Hoop Studio. Hoop Studio is a subscription. It's $33 a month. You get this cool little blue package come in, and this is from Me Time, and Me Time, Machine Embroidery Time, is a sister company. I don't want to call it sister. Let's call it a brother company. I don't know. To Kimberbell. I don't want to say sister company because most of you know she has a twin sister who owns a quilt shop. This is not owned by Chris. So, you know, I had my neighbor came over on Saturday and we spent a couple of hours together. She bought the same embroidery machine that I gave to my granddaughter, the Brother NQ 3550W, a 6x10. And she has pretty advanced Parkinson's. And so she bought the embroidery machine because she's pretty housebound. She can't drive hardly anymore. I don't think she drives anymore because her husband drove her. Literally lives on the other side of the fence from me, but it's a ways. You got to go all around. She can't walk over here. And so she's on a one of those pushy chair things. And she had the embroidery machine, and I was so proud of her determination to embroider. So she needed to get basic skills on bobbins and the thread and the needles and everything that has to go. Why embroidery, machine embroidery, is different than sewing. She's sewn before. And y'all, I think she's a little bit, she might be my age, maybe a little younger. I think I'm not sure. But I highly recommend it to her as a beginner to start with Hoop Studio, because you're going to get everything that you need to make projects. And some folks straightened me out from last Thursday. So with Hoop Studio, you cannot go in and cherry pick which package you want to get, but you do get an email as a member to tell you what's coming. And if you want to skip that month and not be charged for it, you can. Okay. So I'm not sure if you can go back into previous months or not. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe one of you who has this can let me know if you can go, if they have any left from previous months, any subscription packages left. So you can choose to opt out of that month if you don't want to make it, but you can't go in and cherry pick which ones you want. I know that for a fact. So that are coming up that aren't out yet. Okay, let me just put that caveat on there. The thing about machine embroidery is that you can waste an enormous amount of money and time and energy and effort and frustration by buying the wrong stabilizer and the wrong batting and the wrong blanks. And if you're brand new to embroidery, a blank is like a towel or a little bag that is designed specifically for machine embroidery. And without those detailed step-by-step instructions that you get, this comes in your Hoop Studio kit, okay? If you just get the design files, you don't get you have to print your own instructions, which you can do. You can get just the design files. So you can get your own instructions and use your own fabrics and your own supplies. You can do that too, and it costs less. But if you get the full kit each month, you're going to get the right stuff every time. And you're going to get everything that you need. You're not going to get halfway through the project and go, oh, I don't have those D-rings that I need to put on the loop, right? You're going to get every single thing that you need. So these are great. They only email they send us to let you know it has shipped. Okay. Okay. So I'm just not sure of how that works. When I first started my embroidery journey, you guys, I bought so many blanks thinking, oh, I'm going to make that. I'm going to make that. I'm going to make that. And it's 10 years later and they're still stuck in here, little bibs and onesies and all kinds of stuff that I've never used. It was one of those, well, I'll buy this onesie set just in case, right? Well, just in case never happened. I made one onesie for my granddaughter, and that was 12 years ago. Yeah. So if you start with a subscription like this, and I'm talking to you beginners, okay? And this is what I highly recommended to her too. You're going to save money in the long run because you're going to get instructions step by step. They're going to tell you everything that you need, and then you're going to have the right stuff to complete a project. But it's not so much that, is you are building your machine embroidery muscles as you go. You're learning how to hoop. You're learning how to place zippers. You're learning how to make all these cute little in the hoop projects that you may or may not have thought you wanted to make, but you're going to, when you come across something online, after you've done something like this, a pouch like this, and you see it on Designs by Juju, you can go, oh, I've done that before, and you feel more confident. So I really recommend this for beginners, okay? For you seasoned embroiderers, if you're in a quilt desert, this is your go-to, okay? Or you might just want to get to download the design files. Alrighty. Keeps your brain from rusting. That's right, Vicki. Vicki, thank you for your email this morning. I read that. That was very thoughtful. Thank you. Okay, so Bernina owns OESD and Now Dime. You didn't know that? I had heard that, Ruth. Yeah, they're all part of the same company family. Yeah. So I have a link to this down below in the description box. And you guys, I don't promote links to y'all unless I have used and wholeheartedly support the quality of the product. I promise. Sometimes I don't put stuff on there. Sometimes I put stuff on there and take it off. Alrighty. So you have a box of onesies and you've had them for quite a while and you need to use them, Jan. Yep. Well, find a newborn. I don't have one nearby. I don't know about you. Oh, I kind of do. But here's the thing. By the time I get it there, get it done, because I'm going to Tempe, what size is the baby now? I don't know. I don't know. Alrighty. Can you create a zigzag stitch line in Embrilliance? Sure, absolutely you can. You need stitch artists for that, but yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay. Janine says, great advice. I have an embroidery machine I rarely use. Yeah, the lady who wrote me this morning, she says, I just bought it. I'm tired of using somebody else's and I just bought it. And I don't know what modules of Embrilliance to get. And so she did something very smart. She downloaded the trial version of Embrilliance. And after watching a lot of my videos, she's like, oh, I know what that does and that does and that does, which is good. She downloaded the trial version of another embroidery software, couldn't make heads or tails out of it. So that is also a key to help you decide what software to get. My camera is not on straight. There we go. Okie dokie. So me time is great. There you go. Yeah, you can choose to go in there and put a stop on your subscription. Yeah, that's nice too. They also have the Bella box, and that's $115. It only comes out twice a year. It's each time. It's not for both, $115. And you get loads of cute little projects in those. So let's go to this. Y'all, embroidery is expensive. Why? Because it's expensive to digitize well. It's not expensive to digitize cheap, right? All right. I need to go to embroidery. The Power Tools with Thread membership is, Joyce, it's just 99 cents a month and you get members only content and it's on this channel, but it's pre-recorded, not lives. All righty. Let's see here. You have Vicky boxes everywhere. Love it. I'm going to go to the Pocket for Memory. This is the Brother Luminaire XP. It started as an XP1 and I upgraded it to the XP3 over time. So I've had this machine forever. And I am looking for on the USB. Hoop Studio sent a USB a while ago, that cute little blue thing right there. And so that's nice. And I try to keep all of my Hoop Studio files on that one USB. And I'm looking for the lip balm. There it is. And set. Now, this particular project has work on the back of the hoop. You can take the dog. Oh, you got the dog. Keith is closing the door because Dottie's in there giving Frito all kinds of grief. So you're going to do some work on the front of the hoop and on the back of the hoop. Again, this is fantastic skill builders for your machine embroidery muscles to get you used to. We're doing a zipper in this one. And a lot of people would shy away from the zipper, but I tell you, it's really easy to do. And so then the next time you see something with a zipper, you're like, been there, done that. You can even pull out your old instructions for those kind of skills and go back and look. But usually the designs that you buy online will have skills, those instructions printed out as well. Oh, you cannot get just the design files. They had done that at one time, Margie. I know they did. So, all righty. So I'm going to start here on page, what page? What page? I'm in the instructions. I'm going to start here on page 8. Okay. You can't, I swear you used to be able to do that. Did they take that away? Lady Bear says zippers still scare her. Easy stuff. Easy stuff. All righty. So they tell you what fabrics to use. You get the fabrics in the kit. And y'all, I've already cut all my fabrics and I have this much left. I have plenty left. I love in the hoop bags too. I know, Patches. So I have this piece left of here. I have this much left of the yellow. If you make boo-boos, they give you plenty, okay? And I have this much left of the blue, okay? Oh, I see. You can get just design files for older subscriptions if kits are no longer available. That makes sense, Tina. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Thanks for straightening me out on that. I knew they did that. I knew they did. All righty. That does make sense. Yep. Oh, here. I love this. You made the lip balm holder last week. Beverly did, and it's the perfect size for her car key fob. You don't use lip balm. Happy to have another use for it. How much bigger are they going to make key fobs? For crying out loud, y'all. I have key fobs. The one for the Jeep is like this big. And I have another one for the Bronco this big. Ginormous key fobs. And I don't like to carry a ginormous purse, so they take up the whole thing. Ugh. All righty. So it's going to tell you the sizes you need to cut. And I've done that. And it says you need Kimberbell project batting, and they included that. We've got that right here. They also included the hardware and the little wrist ring. Okay. Some fusible backing, and their fusible backing, I didn't have any, so I used SF101 from Pellon. It's a woven fusible that's got glue bumps on one side. If you got, again, you guys are going to notice as you stitch and you begin stitching stuff, lady put a book, pillow, needed SF1 on the back of that heavy stitching embroidery. Always use SF101 on the back of anything that is going to be satin stitched. You'll be happy you did. Okay. Light mesh cutaway stabilizer. I've got that. This is what that is. You can kind of see through it a little bit there. And we are good to go. So I'm going to pop this in here. I need a new, I probably have enough bobbin for this. Probably. Y'all, when I was making the houses for the house pieces for Autumn Love, I went through all of my old little half-filled what's left bobbins that I had. I used up so far 4 of them. I have a whole bunch of them down here in the drawer. I thought, what the heck, you know? Very happy to do that. Those are pre-wounds, and those plastic bobbins, they're not designed to be reused. Okay. So here we go. You were supposed to fuse the fusible woven to the back side of your fabric, the blue fabric, and I did that. And I already created the 1/2-inch fold on the little yellow pieces. So you can see I've got all of my stuff prepped on a little project board. Okay. Bobbin chicken. Amy, I don't have bobbin chicken on the Luminaire. The Luminaire has a sensor to tell me when it's going to run out. I love that. Yes, Perfectly Pieced is another subscription from Me Time. Yep, it's nice. Okay. That's right. So Perfectly Pieced is how you can make quilt blocks using their digitized files. Alrighty, so everything's good to go here. Load the embroidery file into the machine. We did that. And so I am on step 6. So this is going to tell you, you need to number. So the numbers, so step 6 is not the same as the first stitch. So if you look right here, guys, see how it has a 1 right there? That's going to go with, let me hit the embroidery. That's going to go with the color stop on your embroidery machine. So you can look at and see exactly where you are, okay? So I'm going to pop this in here. And right now, the first stitch is, it's going to give me, and I need to get the right, I don't have any thread in here. Let's see, what do I need? I think I'll use, what did I use on this? Is that like a cream or a white? Kind of want them to match. I think I'm going to use this cream color. Yeah. I dumped my box out the other day of all of my glide threads. I've got to get those up on the wall. It's driving me crazy. Okay. Let me pull this down and tie these off to get them rethreaded. So yeah, I was so proud of my neighbor to come over here. She's so willing to learn, and what she's taken all kinds of notes. She takes a lot of notes with her phone and took pictures and all of that. So, okay. Sometimes you will find, while my foot is up on my embroidery machine, let me pull you in here so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Well, my foot's up. Let me get you in. My tension discs are still locked, and that happens sometimes with this. So I'm going to lower the presser foot and then put it back up. And that released those tension discs. What's going on here? We have a problem. We need to go up and over. There we go. Is that right? Yes. Okay, good. And she loved the automatic threader because you guys, with Parkinson's, there's absolutely no way that she could ever thread a needle. So, oh, thank you, Becky. Yeah. I don't know if I'm the best teacher. I'm a teacher. We'll give it that. So first things first, the first stitch is the placement lines for the batting. So I'm just going to press the button and go. Something very loud just went, oh, it's Thursday. My husband's mowing the grass. Okay. All righty. And it's doing 2 strips here. We're going to put the batting on it and then cut the excess batting away after the tack down. Okay. So I'm just going to lay the batting on top, making sure that I have a little bit extra. Okay. I'm going to look here by folding this up and making sure I've got extra batting on either side of those stitch lines, and I almost don't. I need to put it like right there. Okay. And you can tape it down. I think it tells you to tape. Does it tell you to tape it down? I'm not. I'm just going to let them run again. Okay. No, it doesn't tell you to tape it down. Oh, it does. I'm going to go around twice. Do I plan on doing a video of using the big hoop to split a design? Yes, happy grandma. I have not had a moment's rest. As soon as I get a design that I can do in that, then I will. But right now, I don't have a big enough design to play with that I've wanted to make. So you do have to have embroidery software in order to be able to split that design for that big hoop. I'm working right now on the video for members content. Okay. So now we need to trim away the batting around this. Okay. So when you are working outside of the hoop, you always, newbies, always, do not, first of all, do not do this and trim. Because what happens when you do that is this stabilizer right here can sag. And if it sags, you're going to lose the registration, which is where the machine absolutely knows where every single stitch is on that stabilizer, and it will be off. So this is a horrible habit. I see it all the time in my classes. Do not start ever doing this to stitch like this. Okay. Will I use Embroidery Essentials to split the design? No, you need Enthusiast to split a design. All right. So you always use a firm flat surface, whether you take it and put it on your cutting table. I like to use a quilter's cut and press. This is perfect. And then I have my curved split scissors, double curved embroidery scissors. This curve here goes over the edge of the hoop, and this curve here trims without cutting the stitches. If you do cut the stitches, it's fine. If you cut a hole through your stabilizer, just take some paper tape and tape it over on the back. Okay. So when you are trimming, you're going to get a closer trim. If you're right-handed, trim clockwise. If you're using left-handed scissors, cut counterclockwise. That keeps the lowest blade next to the stitches. Okay. I didn't learn that till later in life. So I just grab a tail and kind of pull up and use that tail to give me a little bit of tension to cut very close. Look how close that cuts, like that. Nice and clean. Nice and clean. And you guys want to be sure, especially with fabric, to use as long a cut as possible, meaning use as much of your scissor as you can, because that's going to give you less fraying on your fabric. Fraying, you will get what we call pokies that stick out outside of a final embroidery stitch, and we don't like those. Fraying is no good. Try to trim those before you ever do a final embroidery design, the stitch. Alrighty. Yeah, here we go. So, Patty, I think you're talking about trimming at an angle on your table. Yeah, I think that's what you're talking about. Yep. Especially if you're new to hooping and you don't have this hoop super tight, you will cause sagging and you'll be very disappointed. All right. So where are we at now? I did that. That's trimmed. Stitch the zipper placement line. Here we go. We're doing the zipper. Alrighty. So I'm just going to put this down. You know what? I want y'all to see this. So I'm going to use a dark thread for you guys. Let me use this blue. The only thing I'm going to use the lighter thread for is the top stitching, okay? But I really want you guys to be able to see this. Oh, thank you for joining, Maureen. All of you who have joined this morning, thank you so much. I've seen that. Very nice. Okay. Matter of fact, you guys, that wall hanging that I made that's going to be in the first members only video, I don't even show you how to stitch it. I show you how to design it. Yep. You can always rewatch them. Yes, you can, Bertha. All right, let's get this loaded. Okay, so this is the zipper placement line. How long will it be up? It'll be up forever. It'll be up forever. You can watch it whenever you want, as many times as you want. All right, so the zipper placement line. Here we go. It's that navy. I don't know if you can see it. It went, see how this is pulling? Okay. If you start cutting on this, not on a firm surface, you're going to be sorry about that. So it's open-ended over here on the handle side. All right. So we're going to place this zipper, and my paper tape is on my is over by my 10 needle. Hold on. Let me get this. Ooh, y'all, it's cold in here. Chilly, chilly. Okay. Turn that down. My nose is starting to get cold. Feel like my dog. Okay. Yeah, stitch artists. Yeah, you buy it a bit at a time. Stitch Artist 1 will do what I'm doing in that video, but Stitch Artist 2 is what you need to be able to do Snapplique, because that's the module where you can import those vector graphics. All righty. So on the instructions, it says you want the zipper pull over here by the handle and the zipper stop. Both of those are outside, okay? So y'all, on these zippers, this is just a standard zipper. You get this, anywhere. You want to make sure that the metal parts, and by the metal parts, I mean the pull tab and the zipper stop, are outside of the hoop. That's where people get afraid, okay? So when that happens, the instructions always tell you to put those two pieces outside, and your embroidery machine is going to go through this, no problem, okay? None at all. I will tell you, though, you want to make sure to get it pretty straight, because otherwise it'll look wonky. And I'm putting the edges of the zipper right on that line, that placement line, okay? And I'm taping right here. Hold on, I need to turn this like that. There we go. Okay. The name of the embroidery scissors I'm using today, these are in my Amazon shop. They're Ginger. You guys don't go cheap. The cheap ones hurt your fingers. Okay. These are Ginger. I've had these things for 12 years, worth every penny. You're welcome, Vicki. Yeah, you don't need to be afraid of zippers. You just need to be careful and make sure that the metal is outside of the embroidery field, and you'll be fine. So I'm taping down these, and you want that zipper to be pretty straight. If you have trouble with it, you might draw a straight line through the middle of the placement and make sure you get the teeth exactly on that line. If that makes you more comfortable, you can do that, okay? Only use nylon zippers on embroidery. Absolutely. You may not use metal zippers in embroidery ever. Never. Well, you can. You'll break needles. Yeah, only nylon. Only. All right. So now I have done that. It says here in bright yellow, which is a warning, right? Be sure that the zipper pull and the stop are outside of the stitch area. That's exactly what I just did with y'all. All right. Again, this is a skill builder, and you're going to learn how to do this with these step-by-step perfect pictures from Hoop Studio, and you're going to feel more comfortable about being able to do this. All right, so I have tape Tape the zipper in place exactly as shown. Note, it may be necessary to raise the presser foot to stitch over the zipper. Depends on how low your standard presser foot height is, okay? And if you want, you can use your needle plus minus button to kind of jump around it before you get going to make sure it's not going to catch on that. But where I'm at right now, I think I'm pretty sure it's okay. They're saying place the tape exactly as shown. I'm not sure. I can't tell by the picture. So here's what I'm going to do. I can't tell by the picture because the color. So my zipper tape ends are not covered on the batting. I'm going to just put another piece of tape there just to be safe. This way I know for a fact the hoop is not going to get caught. I'm sorry, the foot will not get caught on that zipper tape. I know for a fact now the foot's going to go right over it. Okay. Okay. When in doubt, tape. Okay. So now I need to stitch. I'm on stop number 4. Stitch the zipper tack down line. Carefully remove the tape. Okay. I can do that. What's wrong? Oh, there we go. My button wasn't green, and I'm like, what's going on? Because the screen had timed out. Oh, yeah, good thing I did that. All right. Now we need to remove the hoop, and we're going to do some work on the back of the hoop. So here we go again, y'all. Make you wide here. So now we're going to do work on the back of the hoop. Okay. I had at one point in time some hoop pads, and I don't have the MIA. I'm not real sure where they are. I don't know if I had the 5x7 or not. So notice how this hoop, this is not a flat embroidery hoop, right? From like the magnetic ones. This is indented. This is recessed a little bit. So yes, Cindy, I was. So they have pads that you can put in here. Remember, we talked about your stabilizer shrinking up a little bit or drooping with the pressure that you put on this. So there's a cheat that you can do. You can take a couple of pieces of fabric. I don't have one of those pads handy. I used to a while ago, but I don't know what happened to it. So here, let me use this fabric. I've got some fabric, okay? And my fabric is about the same size as the hoop. I'm going to make it the same size as the hoop. This is a cheat that you can use to keep your hoops from drooping. So I'm just making sure it's going to fit in there, okay, like this. And then you flip it. And now there is something under here. So see how high that is up off the cut and press? Now the stabilizer won't droop. Very handy. Very, very handy. Okay. Nothing worse than a droopy hoopy, right, Deb? Love it. So we need to cut away the stabilizer back here so that so the zipper will work. Now, easy enough. I'm going to use these little snips. They're like scissors, they're little snips. These are great. Okay. You can take your scrap batting. Yes, Joyce, and use those. Absolutely. They've got some you can buy on Designs and Machine Embroidery, but you don't have to. So I just need inside that inner stitching line, I need to trim away this stabilizer. And there's a line right here, a stitch line. So I'm just going to do it from right here. Let me get this. Get that under there. Try not to cut the fabric, right? You just want to cut the stabilizer. I don't want to cut the zipper. If you cut the zipper when you do this, you pretty much need to start all over because that zipper is going to fray really badly. You can put some fray check on it, but you're going to see it. How do I know that? Because I've done it before. That's why. Somebody said I'm smart. I'm saying, no, I'm just experienced. I've made a lot of boo-boos. So now I've cut that top. I can trim this. Yeah, if you cut that zipper, you need to start all over. All right. You also need to make sure that any of your tails on your embroidery thread are not long enough to get in the way of the zipper. You don't need a piece of thread in there making that snag so it doesn't work. There. Look at that. We've just installed a zipper. Okay. Very easy. There. So I did that. And now, so it tells you front of hoop, back of hoop. And on this one, we're still on the back of hoop. It tells you right there. Okay. What software? You're new to embroidery? What software do you need for Snapplique? You need Embrilliance Essentials, Embrilliance Stitch Artist 2 at a minimum. I recommend 3. Do what you can at the time. If you can swing 3 right now, just do that. There's a 10% off coupon. I have a link below in the description box, or it'll pin the comment. Top comment will have the link there as well. And I recommend Thumbnailer. That's less than $40, and it's going to let you see all of your embroidery designs as pictures on your computer. Very handy, very handy. So Essentials, Stitch Artist 2, Preferred 3, and Thumbnailer are what you need for Snapplique. Okay. If you become a member in a couple of months, will you be able to see this month's content? Yes, Sandy. You should be able to, I think. I believe so. Yeah. All righty. So now place one lining front fabric right side up with the folded edge aligned with the top edge of the zipper teeth and the fabric covering the top of the hoop. Tape the corners and sides in place. Okay. Okay. So I've got to go through this again with my brain. Here we go. So this is right side up and the handle is right here on this side. Place the lining front fabric right side up with the folded edge aligned with the top edge of the zipper. This is the folded edge with the top edge of the zipper. I see. Okay. I think I'm doing this right. Top edge of the zipper. Right there. That's that folded edge. Okay. Sometimes I have to read through these 2 or 3 times and make sure and look at the picture. This is the way they have it. Yes. Okay. Am I doing that right? Those of you that made it. Jackie, thank you so much for your super sticker, sweetheart. That's very thoughtful. I appreciate it. Cheap class, right? Cheap class. Okay. So we're gonna tape the top and the sides as in shown. Okay, there we go. That's step 15. Step 16, turn the hoop to the front. Okay. Take out my little fabric hoop pad here. Turn the hoop to the front. Place one front fabric right side up with folded edge aligned with the top edge of the zipper teeth. Top edge of the zipper teeth. Does this say teeth? Oh, it says teeth. Wrong, Becky. Wrong, wrong. Read, read, read. Top edge of the zipper teeth. I missed that word. Sentence by sentence, y'all. Top edge of the zipper teeth, like right there. Still have room for the zipper pull to pull back and forth through there, right? Okay. Alrighty. So that's all right. I got it. And now this one, oh, I didn't iron this. I didn't do that. That 1/2 inch up. Is it a 1/2 inch? Let me see. I didn't prep that blue right. 1/2 inch. Yep. 1/2 inch. Okay. Fold that up 1/2 inch. I'm just going to finger crease it here. Alrighty. And so now this one goes top edge of the zipper teeth, right like that. Yeah, that looks good. There are lines on these zippers and y'all can see them. And that's a good way to line up your stuff. Okay, I need another piece of tape. Oh, let me take that. It said remove the tape. I didn't do that. I forgot to remove this tape. My little blue thread's coming loose. That's okay. Not a big deal. Ah. Y'all, this stuff is going to all be inside of the project. So if you leave a little bit in there, it's no big deal. Nobody will see it. Yeah, I was making a Designs by Juju, her little phone case, and totally cut into the zipper. I was so mad because that thing's hard. That was a hard one to do. Okay. And I kept it because it was so much work until I was sick of looking at it, and then I just threw it away. Okay, that's better. That's going to be a better look right there. There's our hour. If those of you are got to leave, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I want to thank you for hanging out with me and encourage you to get into your sewing room today and sew something. So, all righty. Oh, you got that new Brother 10 needle. Good for you. You're going to love that. This looks good. And then I need to do the same thing to the other side. All righty. I've got it now. Second time. Isn't it like when you're making IKEA furniture, you always know you're better at it the second time than you were the first? Always. That's how that works, right? Okay, so I'm going to line this up. It says with the zipper teeth, and making sure the zipper teeth are just a tiny bit exposed, because you don't want your zipper getting hung up on your fabric. Stay. Everything's okay. So the way I have this, I hope it's right. See how it's all kind of even right there and looks the same? Even Steven, pretty much. There we go. Okay. The rest of you, I'm going to hang out in here for a minute, finish this up. It would have helped if I would have done my pressing beforehand. It's okay. I'm going to eyeball that 1/2 inch. Doesn't that look nice? That looks nice, doesn't it? How easy that's going to be. It helps too when you've got your stuff together to pull a bunch of pieces of tape off ahead of time, so you just have to pick it up from the table as opposed to heading over to your tape dispenser every time you turn around. I'm just not that organized this morning. I love my 1055. If you guys are looking at a multi-needle and you want a brother, I highly recommend that you look for one with a camera. You'll be so happy. If you can't swing it now, save your pennies and get it when you can. That camera makes a world of difference in everything. All right. I'm ready to move on, I think. So I have everything set to go. Turn the hoop to the front, remove the tape, place one front fabric piece right side up, folded edge along the bottom edge of the zipper teeth and the fabric covering the bottom of the hoop. Stitch the below zipper tack down line and remove the tape. I'm going to change thread colors so you guys can see it. Okay. We're getting ready to where we're going to be doing mostly lighter color threads and everything. You'll be able to see everything. So when I change my thread colors, you guys, I just marry up the two tails here. This is what I do. I marry up the two tails. I trim it up here by the top and give them a little twist so they're buddies, and then make a big loop and pull the tails through the loop. Drop it and then unthread the needle and pull it toward me. And that's how I rethread. And that way you don't have to rethread the machine every single time. All right, let's put the hoop back in. I hope this is going to work. It looks like that needle. Let me put this right here. Looks like that needle might hang up on that blue fabric. We're not having that. That's just not going to happen. All right, let's do it. Ah, this is a good triple stitch, putting everything together. Okay, so there's that one. Now it says to remove the tape, right? Is that what we did? Yeah. Now it says to remove the tape. It says below the zipper. This looks like it's above the zipper. I don't know. And it only did one. It didn't do both. Stitch the below zip. That didn't happen. Did I do this wrong? Oh, I missed the zipper tack down line. I skipped over step 17. Didn't I? I think it's okay. I don't think I screwed it up too badly. So where are we at now? I'm on step 6. What? Color stop 6. Oh, I'm down here on 20. Oops. Okay. I think it's okay. Even though I got out of order a little bit, I think it's fine. In the hoop projects are what? Addictive. Oh, I know, my gosh, they're terrible. You're looking at a 6 needle. Is there a good reason you should spend the extra dollars for a 10 needle? Yeah. If you are a seasoned embroiderer, Susan, you're going to outgrow that 6 needle in about 4 minutes. And also the 10 needle is going to give you a camera. That's why. Oh, y'all, you know what I didn't do? Oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. I need to remove this tape. Okay. Yeah, that's the main reason. To be able to use a tubular embroidery machine like the 10 needle and precisely place designs using that camera is just crazy smart. It's wonderful. So if you're brand new to multi-needle embroidery, or not brand new to multi-needle, if you're a new embroiderer, I mean, a 6 needle will get you started. You might get hoop envy because there's a limitation on the size of the hoop too. Yes, and stitch quality. Paul, you're absolutely right. The stitch quality is visibly better on the 10 needle than the Lumi. You're absolutely right. You will love it. Okay, now I need to open this zipper. If you don't open your zipper when they tell you to, your project to be ruined. you need to do that. Okay, I've got to get this zipper open. Let me make sure I've got this right. Okay, I did stitch 20. Stitch the quilting detail and then open the zipper. All right. I'm not opening the zipper yet. Stitch the quilting detail. Okay. I think, especially on Brother or Baby Lock machines, the stitch quality is probably identical between the 6 and the 10 needle, I think. You have an older 6 needle, it does not have Wi-Fi and it's great, but a 10 needle would be less threading. Right, Linda, that's exactly it. So when you're stitching designs, if you like to do in the hoop projects especially, see, a 10 needle's fine if you're going to do like production for, you know, baseball teams or whatever, little league, you know, you're doing stuff, a bunch of caps, a bunch of whatevers. That's fine. You don't need a lot of needles. If you're going to be doing in the hoop designs for, you know, table runners and autumn love and all that kind of stuff. So I'm using 10 needles on the autumn love and I don't have enough. So I have to change out my threads later in the project. I use the end ones because there's like 13 colors in those, you know, whatever they're doing. So anyway, so you moved up to a 10 needle for the ear-to-ear hat frame. You don't remember if it had a camera. I know that the 1055 and the 1060 have a camera. Does the 1050? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You have a Viking and wish you had bought a Brother. I think that it's, you know, a lot of it is budget dependent too. I love Brother's interface. So the buttons that I'm using here, it has Design Center on it. There's also Design Center on the 10 needle. And that's nice. Design Center is nice. All right. So I have stitched out the decorative stitching on these. And now we need to open the zipper. Okay. If you don't open the zipper, you're going to sew your project shut. So I need to get rid of this. Oh, I should have removed this tape over here before I stitch that final stitching. I can get that out. No big deal. It's fine. Again, I saw somebody say live and learn. There it is. All right. I definitely want to get this up before the final stitch. That's a pain. I was talking. I wasn't thinking. Get ahead of myself. I just can't say enough about the 10 needle. I wish Brother made a 12 or a 15. I'd upgrade. I really do. I wish they made a bigger hoop. They are getting the idea finally that we like to quilt our projects, our quilts in our hoops. And everybody's wanting to do that. So the 10 needle, the largest hoop size it has is a 9x14, which is fantastic. If you want to quilt your quilts in the hoop, that's really nice. It gives you less passes you have to deal with. But it'd be nice if they had it where it could handle the same 10x16 or even the larger hoop that the Avenir has. So, But they didn't put that kind of technology on that new 1060. Okay, this is good now. All right, I need to put the D-ring in with the tab. Okay, so I'm going to open my zipper part of the way, not all the way, it says. Y'all, I put too much tape on this. Good grief. I was so nervous. I've caused myself a little bit of more work than I needed to. So just cut a little tab and it'll pull up. There. All right. I got to get this off. There we go. So open up my zipper. Dang tape, strong. There. What a hot mess that is. Okay, yay. So I can see the cut and press. That's how we do on the back. That looks amazing. That's going to work. Okay. So I need my 3 inches of ribbon. Y'all, I thought I lost my ribbon, so I made a little loop out of my fabric. Didn't need it once I knew as soon as I made that loop that I would find my ribbon, and I did. That's my life. That's how that goes. All right. So I need my hardware here. The D-ring. Okay. This goes through here like this. And then where do I put it? Okay, place the ribbon horizontally over the left end of the zipper with the D-ring lying toward the center and the raw edges extending 1/2 inch outside the tack down, and tape it in place. I need a piece of tape. The easiest way to do this, y'all, is to tape your ribbon first. Okay, tape it first. And the handle to the hoop is on the left side. And it goes right there, right over the teeth. Okay. And then I like to take an extra little piece of tape because it makes me feel good to tape that little piece of metal down so it doesn't get any ideas about going anywhere. I just like to do that. Okay. That's me personally. And then we need to do the tack down for this, the little ribbon. Let's do that. I love that. Sophie said I was considering a multi-needle, but I bought a new car instead. I know, right? Oh my goodness. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Do you guys see that? We've got some kind of something happening up inside there on that thread. You didn't see that. I got to show you. Let's cut it. There's a snowball. I have a snowball happening in here. Look at that. See my snowball? Ta-da! We don't need that. Not needed. Let's go ahead and pull this on through. I don't know what happened. I guess I had something. All right, I'm going to pull it on through and get some good thread in there. Something snagged. I heard it go thunk, and I was wondering. I hate hearing thunk. Oh, my snowball right there. How about that? A little fuzzy. Okay. There we go. You might catch that ahead of time. Why do they occur? Sometimes, Nita, I mean, there's different reasons. Sometimes they happen Most of the time they happen because the thread passed over, got caught, did something underneath the project. Most of the time, that is the reason. Like if it goes through a knot, that thread will cause a shred. You know, the fibers of the thread will go through a thick knot underneath and they will shred. I think the first thing people like to think of is there's a burr inside the machine. That is always the last reason that it happens. It's always the last reason. I need to remove this tape. So that is just, it's usually the thread. It went through something very thick and it didn't like it. And the second reason it happens is there's actually a thin spot on the thread, that manufacturing defect. That's usually reason number 2. But reason number 1 is it went through a lot of something thick, okay? And when it does that, it will get a little shred and then cause a little fuzzy. So don't think because you're also, it can happen with cheap thread, just FYI. Y'all, if you're going to drop thousands of dollars on a machine, whether it's the Luminaire or it's $2,500, whatever it is, you're going to drop thousands of dollars on an embroidery machine. Do not use cheap thread. That's like buying a brand new car and putting in the wrong fuel. Just, if you're going to buy the machine and you're going to put all kind of money into it, buy quality thread, okay? Just FYI. Tape gunk will work. Yeah, that's true, Karen. Absolutely. Okay. So, you know, and you have to take care of your machine too, just like you have to take care of your car. You have to take care of your machine. Get your fuzzies out of your bobbin case and bobbin race. The wrong needle can cause shredding. I was having terrible shredding problems with Schmetz needles on this. That's just me, okay? Terrible shredding problems. When I switched to organ, which is what this machine is timed with at the factory, all of it stopped. All of those shredding problems stopped from needle shreds. Alrighty, so now here we go. I've got that on. I am leaving that little piece of tape over my D-ring. I don't want it to get, all right. Y'all, if you can get a box of thread from Amazon with 20, 30 colors and it's only $60, don't buy that thread. FYI. Will it work? Sure. Is it good for your machine? Maybe not. I wouldn't do it. I had some of that. I got rid of it. Sweet pea thread is fantastic. They don't sell it anymore. So if you've got some, hold on to it. Sweet pea thread is phenomenal. Yep. Floriani's good. Yep. All right. So you were watching a show the other day and they were using Cassie needles. I don't know how that's said. Y'all, I don't work for Brother or any sewing shop at all. So sometimes sewing shops are selling products and you don't really realize it. So I'm not saying, yeah, my machine hates Floriani too. I sold mine. Different machines like different needles and different machines like different threads. Okay. So all I know is that even when, so my neighbor who came over Saturday to get a little lesson on embroidery, she had that little Brother machine and it came with organ needles. So they are timed at the factory with the organ needles. And to me, this is at the time when I bought it new, was a $10,000 embroidery machine. And I'm going to use what needles the manufacturer recommends. Okay. That's just me. My advice to you. I don't have any problems anymore. That's just me. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying, remember, when you're watching something from a shop, they are selling. And that's fine. That's how they make their living. That's cool. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying. All righty. I got to get back to this. We're running out of time. We've been here too long. Place the back fabric right side down, covering the entire project, and place and tape in place. All righty. Back fabric. It says, is this the blue fabric? Hold on. It doesn't say to flip over. Place the back fabric right side down, covering the entire project. All right. Here we go. We're in the home stretch. Right here, covering the entire project. I'm going to fold this up, make sure the outside lines are fully covered. This has that SF-101 on the back. And tape, 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 right? All four sides. I want you to tape all four sides. Don't move. I had a Janome MB7 and it loved Floriani. Her machine actually came with my neighbor's machine. Her little brother actually came with a, I don't know, about a dozen spools of Madeira, which is fine. All right. So I've done step 26 and we are on color stop number 9. Stitch the back tack down line and remove the tape. All right. See, zipper's open. Yes, zipper is open. Yep, yep, yep. Absolutely. Thank you for the reminder. Never hurts to hear that over and over. Yep, we're on number 9. Okay. Look at that. Sandy says, I'm okay with the time. I've cut out 150 Christmas tree blocks. Atta girl. That's what people love about this channel, the Situation Room. They get so much done. They just throw it on their TV and then start sewing and cutting. And I love that. I think that's wonderful. All right. So that's done. Remove the tape, it says. Let's do that. I'm glad it didn't stitch through the tape because that's annoying. I need to save these pieces of tape because I'm going to need them again on the back. Let's see. Okay, so that's done. And now I need to put the backing fabric on. Where's my little fabric hoop pad? On here. Put that in here. Right. Flip it over. Same thing. Last piece of fabric, yay. Make sure that the outer edges are covered. Very good. Tape, tape, tape. Okay. And we're going to stitch this again. Oh, y'all, we're playing bob and chicken almost. Hopefully, is this the last stitch? No, I don't know. Wrong side of fabric. Okay, place it right side down. I did that. Tape the corners and sides in place. Stitch the final outline. This stitch leaves an opening for turning. Yay! I think I made it. Yes, I made it. I made the bob and chicken. You learn so much from the comments. I know I love this. Oh no. Pam, I've done that. She said she was putting together the top of the Autumn Love House, spent half an hour watching the program, then unintentionally hit the wrong button and lost it all. Live and learn. Dun, 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 dun. Yay, all done. Don't we love that sound? Yay, love it. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to get the right scissors for the job here. Let me go get my Guggenheims. I don't have them here with me. They're over here on the other side of the wall. Just a minute. Oh. All righty. Got to go through a bunch of layers of fabric. I want the right scissors for the job. Right tool for the job. Yeah, I got to go to the vet today. Dottie's getting her second set of shots and a chip. Yay. She won't like that chip. It'll hurt. But to save the misery, she's got to get they're going to test her for worms again too. And so I went ahead and collected that for them this morning from this morning's business. So she doesn't have to go through that again. That was thoughtful. I have a little Ziploc bag there with the sample in it. Inside of a paper towel. You can't see it. And my husband got up and I said, I already collected this, so you don't have to. He's like, gee, thanks. Oh. Dottie was like, what are you doing? Okay. All righty. So it says, remove the tape, remove the project from the hoop, and trim it 1/4 inch away from the final outline. All righty. So again, I am not going to be doing any kind of hand stitching. I'm going to use some stitch witchery. And I can see the outline for the opening better from the back than the front. All right, so this is going to go in the trash. So let's go ahead and get this trimmed up here. Cut 1/4 inch away. All righty. Going right through tape, fabric and all, and zipper. Right through it. And then I'm going to trim my corners to a 45-degree angle. So that fabric has somewhere to go inside. Now on this, I'm going to leave a tab so that I've got some extra fabric to flip under with the Stitch Witchery. Stitch Witchery is a product from Dritz, and it's a permanent bond. And I do that in place of hand stitching, these final. But I like to leave a tab to give it something to grab a hold of. I have these scissors right here. Just like this. Perfect. Okay. That looks really good. So there, the tab is open like that. And I've got something. Now I'm going to get rid of all of this bulk. Now, this is the only thing right here that needs to have the tabs adhered to one another. Okay. So I'm going to trim this bulk down. You don't need that because it's sewn in pretty good. There we go. Now, okay, trim the corners. They have you do that. Then they say to turn the project right side out through the opening and then sew it closed. Okay, that's not happening because I don't do that if I can avoid it. All right, so we're going to trim this or turn it around. Outer corners first. Corners farthest from the project, from the opening first. It's the easiest way to do that. Okay. Oh, my arthritic fingers are howling. Okay. I still got some tape in here. That's okay. No big deal. And before I seal this up, I'm going to get rid of any little tails or snip, this and that. Get all that cleaned up. Nice and cute. This is tiny. I think my key fob is larger than this. This is tiny, tiny. Probably send it to my granddaughter. They love to have things dangling off their wrists, don't they? All right. So now I need to poke the corners out. I have a purple thing or a makeup brush. I use this is an old L'Oreal makeup brush. I use this to get down into my bobbin case to clean it. Get that corner out. Harriet's friend gave me a thing to poke out. Where'd that purple thing go? Did I grab it? And it's in the motorhome, which is in for maintenance. She gave me a metal, that metal pokey thing. And it's not, I don't have it here. And you can use a chopstick, but y'all, I have gone through projects with a chopstick. Not cool. All right. So this is pretty good. I may go ahead and poke them out some more as time goes on, but I'm going to press this in first and then press this. Need that little tab. Let's go over to the ironing board and get that taken care of, shall we? Okay. Come with me. Okay. So this is it here. There's a little piece right there. I think that'll work. I usually pin the scraps that I have. So first thing, before I even put this in there or think about it, I want to press it and make sure it knows where I want it to go. So it has an idea, and it makes life so much better if you do that. I give it a shot of steam. There we go. So see, that's going to make life a lot easier. Okay. And this one's already been stitched, and that's good. Okay. So my little extra piece that was right here. There we go. Not quite long enough. Okay. When I use stitch witchery on a gap like this, I make it a little bit longer than what the gap is. And I cut it just a tiny, I don't know, 1/4 inch longer on each side. Okay. And put it in where I want it to go and lay it in there and kind of fold the edges over on itself. But what that does, I need it toward me so I can see what I'm doing here. What this does is then I can take, where's my purple thing? That will work. Do I want that? Let's see. I'll use a pin. I'm going to use one of those magic pins. You can take a pin and push it all the way as far as it'll go to the seam and then press that edge down. So you folded it up on itself. That prevents having any little gap in the corners that don't get caught. Okay. Yeah, that's in there nice and tight. And then this one, so I just make sure this is exactly where I want it, up on the edge. So the stitch witchery webbing is right up on the edge of the fabric so that I don't have a gap. Okay, like that. And I'm going to take my pin and put it in here and push it as far as it'll go into that corner and tuck that there. And that's going to hold. If I want to hold it with a pin, I can, because this is one of those magic pins you can iron. And I'm steaming it because stitch witchery likes steam. Okay. Let it cool a second. That's good. And I just have a piece of fabric on here to help me see where the edge is. Okay. Very good. That turned out nice. Okay. There we go. All righty. Oh, you guys moan when you sit down. I always do. Okay. I'll open that zipper up a little bit more and give it a turn, our final turn. This is cute, but it's tiny. I hate working with tiny things. Oh, tiny, tiny. It's Callie size, right? My granddaughter, Callie size. Let me pull this over. Yeah, for those of you that are new, we usually go a little bit long on Embroidery Thursday because it takes longer to make these projects. So it was turned once. So when you make in the hoop projects, a lot of times you have to do 2 turnings. So the first turn got you to where you could see the lining and the outside was on the inside. Now we're turning it so that the lining's on the inside and the outside's on the outside. Right? Yeah. Okay. I hope I did this right. I think so. All right. So here we go. I have a sealed little lining in there. Y'all, this is teeny tiny. My key fob will not fit in here. Look at that. And it worked. I'm going to press it really good. And ta-da, there it is. There it is. There it is. How cute is that? So these go together. This is adorable. These go together. And there's another ring. Super cute. That has, so this outer one is like a key ring thing. And then this one has a hinge, so it can go on and off. So let's put these together. It is tiny. Tiny, goodness tiny. Oh my word. So tiny. But I'm going to put a chapstick in it and pop it in the mail and send it to Callie. And she will love it. Aw, isn't that adorable? Oh my goodness, that is cute, y'all. So cute. Good project, Hoop Studio. Well done. Well done. Look at that. A zipper. Not hard at all. Follow the instructions step by baby step, sentence by sentence. All right, you guys, this has been fun. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And be sure to give the video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys tomorrow. It's Giveaway Friday, all right? We'll talk to you soon. You guys go sew something. Bye.